excited to have you guys in the studio, and I think everyone else is really excited to get to know you as well. We got a lot of stuff to go over here today, and I've been letting people know that, hey, we're going to get to know the command team here. We're a small, tight-knit community here, and I think they're really going to like getting to know you. So
before we do that, I'm going to start by saying good afternoon to Misawa.
Okay.
And so we can get into the icebreaker stuff, but I wanted to begin just by saying how excited that myself, Colonel Murphy, and Chief Blandburg are to do the radio show, because it's really important for us as we kind of take over the Wing Command team here. That one of the key things I wanted to make sure that we did was be able to talk to the folks on base, and also make sure that they have the opportunity to be able to talk to us too. And we can do that via a multitude of means, but the radio show is one way that we're really excited to do so. So a preemptive thanks for hosting us.
Awesome.
We look forward to doing this every week, which we'll get into a little bit more down the road. But super excited to be out here, and glad to be able to talk to the folks at Misawa.
So I want to know, what was your what year most defined you? What was your favorite year?
My favorite year, 1998, 1999. Late 90s is my favorite time period.
Now, you got to give a little bit of data.
Yeah, give us why. Gotta give us why.
One, it was when I was still living my best life, being able to be irresponsible responsibly without social media. So I could, for real, kind of get a little wild and crazy, do what airmen do, because that's what I was then, and I didn't have to worry about being blasted or video or social media and everything. So I think that was the best time.
All right, sir.
My turn.
You're on the hot seat now.
I'm cheating a little bit. I'm giving you a range, all right? Because I couldn't pick a 1 year out. But the years we were in Europe, we did Aviano and then Spangdahlem were by far the best. Like being in Europe, we had a couple kids there, and it was just an awesome time. Traveling around, seeing Europe, enjoying that, but also the mission was just pretty special at that time too. Of everything going on in the world at that time as well as in Europe. So.
MC1 Hinton, who informed us as we walked in the door, also goes by D Money. I think it's my turn, and I will. I'm going to change the rules here a little bit too, and I'm going to say a couple of years, and so y'all need to take notes on this. So, 2004, one of my favorite years. I'm kidding, you don't have to take. So, the year I got married, and that's the reason behind that, which was great. And then I will also say 2009 and 2012, which were when my two sons were born, so I get to win that one. And then finally, and pertinent to the crowd as well, 2005 to 2007, the last time I was here at Misawa. And super happy to come back. After being here, it was our first assignment. Jess and I had just recently got married, first assignment out of training, and to be able to come here and see Misawa as my first unit. And first base, and be able to come back now, super fun. So I bend the rules a little bit, but those are the years I'm going with.
Now, I know for a lot of people, public speaking can be more scary than even death itself here. And sometimes, you'd be surprised, but some people get a little nervous coming on the radio here. And having a chance to kind of exercise some of those skills might be pretty useful. I didn't realize we had a Toastmasters club here, but Colonel Murphy, you saying we do?
Toastmasters, we got one.
Really?
Yeah, so all of you, I mean, if you've been here for a while, you know how great the Professional Development Center is, the PDC. They do some amazing things. They've got some incredible classes. They've got a few ones coming up: journaling, crucial conversations, continuous process improvement. So, but those aren't the only ones. They've got across the board things that match pretty much anyone's interest level or what they would want to get into. But get on out there and sign up.
That's fantastic. I hear there's going to be a giant voice little test going on here. Now I know. If you're new here to Misawa and maybe you haven't heard that before, don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed, at least not for the tests that are going on here. But it sounds like there's going to be a test going on here, sir. Is that?
Yeah. I'll provide some comments on that just because that's an important part of how we notify the base populace about important events. Yeah. And so really important to make sure that is functioning correctly. So next week, the 11th to the 15th of July, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., you may periodically hear the giant voice being tested, and so please make sure to listen to it. We'll let you know if it's just a test or if it's actually real world. There will be clarification for that, but there will be some periodic testing going on. All the dorms and resident towers are going to be tested throughout the week, and then, like I said, we will make sure that we clarify if it's a real world event versus an exercise or a testing event as well. So when you hear those, that is, make sure the system works so that in the event of an emergency, we'll be able to get in touch with you. So
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's critical. I know many bases do that test, and it can be a little bit startling if you don't know. And so, of course, we get a lot of influx of new people all the time. So, and then finally here, before we get to the break, because we're getting close to the top of the hour here, but we wanted to chat a little bit about that Join Enlisted Bilateral Dining Out. That sounds all. I didn't know what a dining out was as a Navy person here, but dining outs are awesome. I want to do that. They're fantastic.
So I will tell you, I have not been to a Joint Enlisted Bilateral Dining Out, so I'm really, really looking forward to it. Before coming here, one of the things people always talk to me about was the great relationship we have with the Navy, and so I'm looking forward to it. On the 22nd of July from 1730 to 2200, we'll be at the Misawa Club, Tohoku Ballroom. Come out and celebrate, enjoy the camaraderie, and make connections with personnel across the base.
Let's get into some of the questions that have already been sent in, and as promised, answering some of those. Yokota Air Base just recently had an air show. It was a really beautiful event, and we've had an air show here in the past. Are we going to have that again now?
Yes, we are, and it's going to be awesome. So super excited to bring that back.
Yeah.
Our Air Fest is scheduled for September 11th, and it's going to be an awesome way for us to show the local population the incredible air power that we have here at Misawa and across the Japanese islands. And so it is one of my favorite memories of when I was here last time. Yeah. Crowds have been anywhere from like 80,000 to 100,000 people, and the flight line is packed. And so we're really excited to be able to bring that back to Misawa Air Base and get the local population on base and showcase what it is that we do. And so great opportunity to share some of our culture with the Japanese people too. I remember we were making cakes and all kinds of fun times. So really excited to bring that back.
So, into the second question here, just like old people, change is tough. Sometimes change can be tough here. And we have a question that says, why is the Dunkin' Donuts closing?
So I will preface this by saying I'm from Boston, right? So Dunkin' Donuts is that is a staple of the Northeast community. And so, we will be sad, and believe me, my two sons are in the same boat. They're going to be sad to see Dunkin' Donuts go, but that is because we're transitioning to a new restaurant. So Einstein Bagels will be opening up there. So there will still be plenty of breakfast options available in the AFES location over there. So we're going to ask for a little bit of patience while we take down the Dunkin' Donuts stuff, and then throughout July put in the Einstein Bagels portions. And so we think that that'll be a great opportunity to still provide great breakfast food to the base. And there are some donut options across the base if you need to have the donuts.
You gotta have
the donuts too. And so now you get donuts and bagels. And so I think it's all an effort for us to, quality of life is going to be a big thing that we focus on here as well. And so it is evidence that we are trying to bring new food options to the base, and we hope that people are excited about Einstein Bagels. So.
Yeah, we just had our AFES team in here. They're excellent guys. They're always looking out for what's best for the community here. Last question that I have that's already been sent in here, and it's a good one. Will there be childcare provided for Air Fest? We just talked about Air Fest, how much of an important thing it is for the community and for the local community. Since some people may need to work during that event, will there be childcare provided?
You want to take that one?
Sure, I'll take that one. Yeah, great question. We always love the questions about CDC because we know that in childcare, we know that is a need for many of the families on base. If they're a valid concern, we're going to speak with our Air Force leads and just have them start the conversation and talk to the CDC, because obviously the air show is on a non-work day on a Sunday, so it would involve an extra day of work for those individuals that are employed by the CDC. But give us some time. We're going to look at it, try to get the best answer and a good solution for you. But thank you for bringing it up, because it's probably not something we would have thought of on our own.
And while we look into that too, also for those that are not working and want to see the show, obviously families are encouraged to go too. So for those that can, please, if you're able to, please bring your family. And for those that have to work and can't, we'll continue to explore childcare options, because that, again, family is so important here. And so we'll do what we can to help out.
We want to close it out with kind of your vision for what you want to accomplish while you're here, and what you kind of hope to say, Colonel Richard did that while he was in Misawa.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to answer that question. But I do not I appreciate the way you framed it, but I don't want it to be, what did Colonel Richard do during the last 2 years? I want it to be, what did Team Misawa do over our 2-year timeline here? And so, a couple things. I just want, before we go, I want to communicate to the wing kind of what I'm thinking and how I'm gonna, try to focus our efforts here. And so, there's 3 bins that I'm gonna try to, with Colonel Murphy and Chief Blandburg and the rest of the leadership teams on base. I want everybody to think in the mindset of like mission, family, and your individual self, if you will. And so the mission's going to be there, and we're going to do our best to keep the train moving in the right direction. The base is already well prepared to execute the mission, and what that entails will shift any given day. But the proverbial mission will be one of the focal points for us. And then the second one's going to be family, and so that is your personal family. So again, my personal family is here. Folks have their personal families either here at Misawa or even back home. Some folks, have their families back home, and family is such an important part about who we are as servicemen. That's why we wear the uniform, right? It's to defend our family and friends. And so that's going to be a critical part, both your personal family, but also your professional family. I like to say, your last name is on your uniform shirt, right? But you also, on your left side, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force for us, and the American flag. The American flag is a family, and so we're going to focus on the personal family and also the professional family, and that is your brothers and sisters in arms, if you will, and that includes our JAS staff personnel that we have on base too. So that's the second pin, and then the last one, which maybe we don't focus on as much as we need to is ourselves, So your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your spiritual well-being, your mental well-being, your own development as well. And so that's going to be kind of the 3 things that I would encourage us to focus upon, are the mission, the family, and then our individual selves. And so as we talk about what we're going to do over the next 2 years, at least during my time here, it's going to be put into those bins. Anything you want to amplify on that?
Yeah, I think some of what we've been talking about just aligns neatly with those 2. I mean, we've talked about how we have an Air Fest coming up that we can now do because COVID isn't a thing, so that you should really view this as time. But we're coming off of that pandemic that Colonel Richard talks about at the beginning. That was not fun, was not an easy thing to go through, and we did take care of each other through that, but now we're turning over a new leaf. So it's a great time to focus on personal families and professional families, as well as yourself and the things that you need as an individual. So I think it dovetails very neatly with kind of where we are in the world right now, which is a good thing.
Cool. Well, sir, thank you so much for being on the radio with us, and thank you for giving us these great introductions here, and to giving us a kind of overview of what you want to do here. And Team Misawa welcomes you.
Thank you.
And AFN welcomes you, of course.
Thanks.
Colonel Murphy, you're always welcome here anytime you want, of course. And for the listeners there, every week we're going to be doing this, and hopefully, if you have questions, I want to encourage you to always send us a message. Send a message to the PA team over at the 35th Fighter Wing, but you can always message us, and we want to engage with you. And we want to hear from you.